Story 1. Basically, my wife and I had just immigrated back to the United States and needed jobs and a place to stay. We thought we had struck gold when a fabulously wealthy woman hired me as a groundskeeper and maintenance guy and my wife as a cook and maid for her elderly parents. The pay was low, but part of it involved living rent-free in the second house on the estate. The elderly couple were extremely senile, but still the sweetest old folks you can imagine. It was a really nice property, so for a few months, everything was great. Then, about 3 months in, my wife noticed the pantry, which was itself bigger than our living room, was not being restocked by the grocery delivery company that normally handled these things. We contacted our employer, who flew into a rage that managing that sort of thing was our responsibility, so she had canceled the delivery service without telling us. It became apparent that she fully expected us to notice and take care of it ourselves. When I asked her how she expected us to buy groceries for her parents, when she didn't even tell us she had canceled the service, she became extremely irate. Direct quote, "Then why on earth do I sign a check to each of you every week?" Yeah. This witch earnestly thought we should be using our personal paychecks, which were not very big, to pay for her parents' upkeep. After much deliberation, she grudgingly left us a credit card to go out and buy groceries for her parents, which added to our workload at no extra pay. We didn't have anywhere else to stay and no other job lined up, so we just dealt with it. Well, another few months go by, and she contacts us again. She wants us to sign something. The paperwork shows up, and it is requests for medical documentation from an insurance company. This woman wants us to attach our timesheets to it, sign it, and send it back to the insurance company. Well, I read it, and it becomes apparent she has elder care insurance to pay for live-in nursing services and has told them we are nurses so she can try to get them to pay our wages. I contact her and inform her that we have not provided medical care, are not licensed to, and will not fill out the paperwork. Cue the mother of all crazy storms. Karen goes nuts, screaming into the phone about how much she has done for us and how we owe her, how she will report that we are neglecting her parents, and then call immigration on us and have us deported. I don't think she ever realized I am a citizen and my wife immigrated legally. I tell her that what she is asking us to do is fraud, and that I'd rather get fired than arrested for a felony. I tell her she has 90 days to find a replacement for us, and we will be moving out. Things devolve into her screaming about how much money she has, and how she is best friends with the police and has a bunch of expensive lawyers to sue me with. I suggest she asks one of those lawyers how they feel about defending her for insurance fraud and hang up. My wife and I continue our services for the old folks while looking for a new place because they were actually super nice, and the situation wasn't their fault. They were also very senile, mistaking us for other people they knew, forgetting they had kids, etc. So they can't be held accountable for their daughter's behavior as they lack any ability to intervene. Then, instead of a paycheck, I get a bill for the last 8 months of rent and a note that she isn't paying our wages until we pay her back for everything we owe her, plus interest. She had valued the rent of the second house provided in our contract at more than she paid us monthly, so we'd never actually be able to pay it off. Yeah, this witch actually tried to make us into indentured servants. So, without responding, I continue performing my duties, studiously keeping logs on our hours and retaining all the receipts for how much more we owed her. 90 days go by without a paycheck. We purchase groceries using the card she provided, which she added to our debts. We document everything. About a week before the 90 days are up, we contacted 2 government agencies. First, the State Department of Labor to report exploitation, and second, Adult Protective Services to inform them that an elderly couple that requires caretaking are going to no longer have caretakers and that their daughter has refused to provide it. Then we call her and inform her she is going to be receiving some phone calls from these agencies shortly and should probably contact her attorney. There was about a 60-second dead silence on the phone, then hysterical laughter, and she hung up. Okay, not the response I expected, but whatever. One more week and we're gone. 8 hours later, she shows up in the driveway in a rental car. This witch bought a one-way plane ticket to come out to the estate and report us to the cops for trespassing on the property. This, of course, doesn't work because we have a tenancy contract, and if she wants us gone, she has to utilize the legal eviction process. She then tries to claim we are illegal immigrants, which a quick glance in our wallets at our IDs by the cops proves false. She is starting to shriek at them about whether they know who she is or how expensive her lawyers are. The cops look. That unique combination of irritated and amused that cops dealing with some dumb stuff they aren't allowed to comment on, get, and advise her not to talk to us or attempt to enter or go near the guest house. She moves into their house that night and presumably takes over our duties. I would go out on the balcony every day for the week before I left to drink my coffee and smile as I stared across the big, luxurious lawn to see her standing in the picture window, arms crossed, glaring daggers at me. To make a long story short, the expensive lawyers she has convinced her to pay our back wages with additional interest for violating state labor laws by withholding them. Turns out trying to enforce actual slavery is still illegal after all. Who knew? Story 2. Hi, and note this. This isn't my story. This is my sister's story. Context: since last Sunday or Monday, whenever Valentine's Day was, my sister's boyfriend decided to take her on a date. The couple are super happy, and my sister is now happy and well. Some of you may recall that in my last post, my sister has bipolar disorder. Anyway, I personally like the guy. He is nice, smart, and can cook. When they went on the date, they went to the beach to get some Italian food. Now onto the story. It was around 7:15 p.m. My sister went on her date to the beach. The guy picked her up in his car and went to the beach. It was a nice trip seeing the moon reflect on the clear water. As they got there, her boyfriend parked the car, and the entitled mother saw it. Her, nice car. Boyfriend, thanks. How much did it cost? My sister's boyfriend was confused but still answered anyway. Around $12,000. I got it last year. The entitled mother let out an evil grin. So you have a high-paying job? Yeah, I'm a chef at Restaurant X. You are perfect for my daughter. My sister and her boyfriend were dumbfounded. No, that's okay. I already have a girlfriend. You will date my daughter and you will dump this brat. My sister was shocked. She wanted to hit her, but her boyfriend told her not to. He grabbed her and went inside. My sister, why did you go inside? So you wouldn't beat her up. She nodded. They sat down and ordered food. My sister got the chicken Alfredo and her boyfriend got some spaghetti. They both got the same appetizers, bread and butter. The entitled mother walked in and saw them having fun and eating. She came in with her daughter. Entitled mother, there he is? The entitled daughter went up to their table and decided to throw everything on the floor. The food didn't come yet, so it was just some bread, butter, and a couple of drinks. My sister and her boyfriend were furious. The entitled daughter didn't hesitate to push my sister off her chair and sit on it. She just sat there with no regret and said to my sister's boyfriend, "You will date and you will love me, not that brat." My sister's boyfriend didn't care about her, only about my sister. He went up to her and asked her if she was okay. As he was helping her, the entitled daughter decided to mess it up. She grabbed him and pulled him to the table. My sister snapped and turned into a demon. She got back up, cleaned all the dust off herself, and decided to tackle the woman. The mother saw this and was shocked. Someone attacking her daughter because she assaulted a woman who was just minding her business. Luckily for them, very few people were there, just the cooks and them. Everyone came out and saw the fight. My sister, touch my man and you'll be sorry. Entitled daughter, he is mine. The entitled mother knew this could lead to them going to jail. My sister's boyfriend saw her leaving and decided to stop her. She somehow managed to escape, but he saw the license plate and what she was wearing. During all of this, my sister and the daughter were having a massive fight. I wanted to see it and place bets. But anyway, the fight was brutal. My sister was going toe-to-toe with that brat. But I knew my sister would win. She told me that she knocked that witch out. I wish I was there. But since she was knocked out, they decided to call the cops and an ambulance. When the cops did arrive, they looked at the place. Everything was wrecked. Food on the walls, broken plates on the floor, a woman lying on the ground. My sister said that she wanted to date her boyfriend. They asked where the mother was. My sister's boyfriend told them she escaped and gave them the license plate and what she was wearing. The ambulance came and took the entitled daughter to the hospital. The paramedics said she is going to be okay. She woke up when they were about to leave. My sister came back home bruised up and tired. I gave her some ice, food, and chips. She changed into her pajamas and went straight to bed. You guys may be wondering, why did I wait to post this after Valentine's Day? The reason is, I wanted to wait so she could get some payback. She had to pay for everything, the food, plates, and every little thing that was damaged in the restaurant. I was happy that she had to pay for everything. Story 3. Now for context. I'm a 20-year-old male who suffers from Asperger's syndrome, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and depression. Typically, I'm not the confrontational type, but today I was in a bad mood. I used to work at my local Walmart as a cart associate, the people who collect the carts from customers to put them back in the store for others to use. Since I didn't have much to wear and I was in a hurry to get out the door with my parents so we could go shopping quickly, I made my first big mistake. In case you aren't aware, Walmart, specifically the one I am closest to, usually has their employees wearing a blue vest and khaki or black pants. I happened to be wearing a dark blue shirt and black cargo shorts. So my mom and I were just walking around, but I decided to go off and look at the video games section to try and look at a few games. That was my excuse so that I didn't have to follow my mom around. I had brought my iPad in the store with me along with headphones to listen to music. This is where the fun begins. I'm leaning against a shelf just listening to some of my favorite music when I see some kid, I think he was like 8 or 9 at the most, come up to me and gently pull on my shirt to get my attention. The conversation went as follows. Kid, excuse me, sir? Could you help me with something? Me, sure. What can I help you with? Mistake number 1, excluding my outfit. Kid, can you get a game out of the cabinet? He points to one of the cabinets. The ones which require a special key to open. Me, I'm sorry, but I can't get you your game. It requires a special key. I'm very sorry. The kid leaves, and I thought that was the end of it. Nope. In comes the most stereotypical Karen that I've ever seen. She's the literal textbook definition of a Karen. Get me your manager haircut and all. Karen, excuse me. Me, yes. Karen, why didn't you get my son his game? Me, I can't open the cabinet to get it. She scoffs and says, well, can't you get a key or something? Realizing her mistake, I say, oh, sorry, lady, I don't work here. Karen, lies. I see you out here all the time. Me, oh really? My gosh, what did you see me doing? She rolls her eyes and says, you were doing carryouts for old people. Technically true, as that was a part of my old position. Me, yeah, and clearly I'm not doing that, am I? Karen, look, I don't care if you are on break. You overweight cow, just get me the game. Again with her calling me overweight. I am a little overweight, but I'm not fat. Me, well, if you don't care, then neither do I. She just looks at me as if I had just slapped her. Karen, how dare you? You can't talk to customers that way. I could have you fired. Me, go ahead. You'd be doing me a favor. She looks at me as if I was an idiot. So you want to get fired? Me, no. She gives me blank stares. You're an idiot. Me, and you're a witch. Your point? She just gasped. Like one of those kinds of overly dramatic gasps only a Karen could make. Karen, I am going to fire you for saying that. Me, cool. And I walk off. Karen continued to complain. I just let her make a fool out of herself. Mistake number 2. She comes storming after me. She uses her hand to slam my iPad into the floor. Luckily, it has a sturdy case. Me? What in the world, lady? Karen, give me my son's new game. Understandably upset, I say, I don't work here. What are you, an idiot? She wildly screeches. If you don't get my son his game, I'm going to get you fired. I take a deep breath and start to monologue. First, I am wearing a different outfit than those who work here. Second, I can't get you your son's game, even if I wanted to, which at this point, I don't. Third, if you had any common sense, you'd realize that you're being an absolute witch right now. Karen, I have half a mind to. Me, that's the point. You don't have half a mind, or any mind for that matter. She starts to whine like a child. But my son wants his game. Me, 3 words, sucks to be. Adding a 4th, you. Now go find yourself a proper associate and leave me alone. And take your brat with you. The kid had been agreeing with his mother the whole time this was happening. The Karen walks away without further conflict. Thankfully, I never saw her again. And apparently, her kid never got his game, and my iPad thankfully lived to see another day. Story 4. I used to work at a West Coast division store of Kroger. My family has several pets and farm animals, so I routinely shop at a local farm store. Most of the time, I do this after my shift ends, which means I am in my work uniform, black slacks, either a dark red polo shirt or a button-up gray shirt that has the store logos embroidered on them. The farm store personnel wear jeans, t-shirts, and gold-colored vests with the farm store logo. I was in the farm store looking at some electric fence supplies. This woman kept pestering me and asking questions about some jeans she wanted to try on from the other side of the store. I politely pointed in the general direction of the clothing section, and she stomped off. A couple of minutes later, the same woman demanded I unlock the changing room for her. I'm rather irritated with her overly aggressive attitude and snapped, "No, now go away and leave me alone." Again, she stomped off. I picked up a few items and started towards the checkout when I got ambushed by this same woman who now has the store manager in tow. She is demanding I apologize to her. The manager just shakes his head, then asks, "Would you like to apologize to this customer?" What for? She's rude, obnoxious, and irritating as heck. "No, I don't want to apologize," she screams. "I've never been so humiliated." She says every letter like HUMILITED. "You need to fire him now." The manager is still shaking his head in disbelief when he says, "Well, ma'am, I am not able to do that." "And just why the heck not?" she demanded. The store manager is just standing there staring at her. I reply, "Obviously she isn't smart enough to figure out I don't work here. So save us both some time and fire me. Then maybe she will shut up and go away." "You're fired," the manager barked, drawing even more attention from other customers in the store. I lean in closer to the woman and say, "Are you happy now, ma'am? That's the third time he's fired me this week. Have a nice day. Thanks for shopping at Smith's Food and Drug." I walked away as everyone listening started laughing. The manager hollers at me as I am walking towards the registers. "See you tomorrow?" "Yeah, I have to get hay and alfalfa." The woman threw down the jeans she was holding and ran out the doors as everyone around started laughing at her.